This is some old wood I had from a previous project, and it was no longer in use, so I decided to make some cat houses out of it. I used some 2x2s, and there were also some 2x4s which needed cut in half long ways. Here are the plans. I'm not a source for woodworking tips. This is just a project I thought other people might want to try making something similar out of. It can be used for other animals. The first thing I did was separate all the wood out, and you want to always be careful, safety first.
Whoa, that was close.
As you can see though, I made precision cuts, and then here's everything laid out. Here is a picture of the moon actually, and then here is showing a jig that I made. Previously I would usually use clamps, but I watched some videos and this worked out way better. Here's a bunch of the end pieces of the frames all fixed together. Here's another jig that I made for putting the long pieces on. Screwing and unscrewing everything was taking too long though, so as you can see down there at the end, I started using a combination of the clamp and the jig. And then here's a finished frame. Here's some more frames with some of the pieces cut out. Eventually I needed to go get some more pieces to be able to make the flooring and a couple of the inside barriers. And then day 2 I used a table like a smart person, and then one of the floors had a gap in it because I didn't measure it correctly. So to fix that, I just made a little brace for it with a piece of framing wood. The corners need to be cut out like this, and you'll want to measure from the outside of the box to the other outside of the box whenever you're coming up with your floor measurements. There's the inside barrier framed up, and then here's the first box completed. Here's another box with some different sets inner walls if you wanted to make different sizes. To cut the doors, I measured on the inside where I wanted the door to be. In this case about 5.5 or 6 inches squared, and then I drilled holes in the corners. Then on the outside I traced out the squares, and then I cut them out. Here's some shots of the hinges. I had some old ones and then I bought some other ones. I didn't have any chisels, so I used an old paint scraper, and then I chiseled out a spot for the hinges. You can see here how they fit together in there, and you're going to want that to be like level with the top of your frame so that the lid can sit flat on top of it. Here's what the lid looks like completed. If you'll notice on the back there's a couple spots of wood. That is so that the hinges have something to anchor into besides just the particle board, plus it keeps the tops of the screws from poking through the particle board and poking you in the hand or animals in the feet. If you want, you can use the 1 1/4 inch screws instead of the ones that come with the hinges to make it a little sturdier. If your hinges don't match up with your framing boards, you can just add another piece of framing board to it to make a larger spot to put it in. And then here's a shot of another completed one, and there's Peaches, she's ready to move in. And then here's a video of the completed houses. Here's a shot of them in the barn. This is a shot of some old cat houses I made called Fiverr cat houses. You can find a video of that on YouTube where a guy will show you how to cut and make these. I made some smaller ones than the one he made is in the background there, and I made some smaller ones using different plans. In the front, 3 houses for every 2 pieces of plywood, which is what I was using on that project, instead of 2 houses for 2 pieces of plywood. And here's one of those, still in use after several years. Here's his plans. Here's my adjustments to get more houses out of the wood. And then here's my plans for the boxes that I just made.